The Roma people are surrounded by mystery, with a culture distinctively marked by their own language and a nomadic way of life. The Romani language, found in various dialects, carries influences from the many regions they have traversed, reinforcing their unique identity. Living in tents known as chozas, the Roma lack permanent homes, constantly moving from place to place. Marriage is a central aspect of their culture, occurring solely between members of the same group, ensuring the preservation of their traditions. Known by various names such as Romani, Sin, and Kal, they represent subgroups with unique customs. Their true history remains largely unknown, and this documentary will uncover hidden aspects of this people, revealing surprising and unknown facts. The true identity of the Roma goes beyond what many might assume. Unlike a social group or a lifestyle choice, being Roma is a blood heritage, much like it is for indigenous, Arab, Black, and Jewish people. The Roma ethnicity cannot be adopted or acquired. It is tied to ancestry and familial lineage. The Roma, also referred to as Romani or Rom, belong to the Indo-Aryan ethnic group. Their origins trace back to the Indian subcontinent, particularly the regions of Rajasthan and Punjab, in northwestern India. From the earliest generations, they adopted a nomadic lifestyle, moving constantly, which has shaped their customs and social structure. Their migration westward occurred in waves, likely in the first millennium AD. This movement led the Roma to various countries, mainly in Europe, where they established distinct communities. Linguistic and genetic evidence supports this journey. The Romani language has Indian roots, showing structural similarities to languages spoken in the region. Genetic studies further affirm this connection, solidifying the Roma's origin and their historical journey through the centuries. If you like the content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, back to the video. The Roma journey is one marked by displacement and adaptation, deeply rooted in the culture and identity of their people. The very term Rom originates from the Sanskrit word Doma, which referred to a caste of itinerant musicians and dancers in India. This name reflects the Roma's strong connection to music and dance, elements that have accompanied them throughout their migrations for centuries. The earliest migrations brought the Roma to the Islamic Empire, and later to the Byzantine Empire. These movements were crucial in spreading Roma culture, influencing the regions they passed through and establishing their presence in various territories. Between the 10th and 14th centuries, they arrived in Europe, a period of significant social transformation on the continent. Their presence had a profound cultural impact, forming a unique identity in each country where they settled. Today, the largest populations of Roma can be found in Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, Spain, Turkey, and Brazil. In the Americas, it is estimated that there are around 1 million Roma in the United States and another million in Brazil. Their presence in Brazil intensified with the arrival of deported groups from the Portuguese Empire during the Inquisition. From the 19th century onward, new waves of migration brought Roma to other South American countries and Canada, where they continue to keep their culture and traditions alive. This culture is often misunderstood and confused with that of other nomadic groups. In Western Europe, the Roma are frequently associated with the Irish Travellers or the IITT, but they possess a distinct identity. What sets them apart is not just their nomadic lifestyle, but also their value system, traditions, and a history that spans centuries. Their unique language, Romani, further strengthens their individuality. Romani belongs to the Indo-Aryan language family, with traces of Greek and Balkan languages. Over time, it adapted as the Roma moved through different regions, giving rise to a wide variety of dialects. Although many Roma speak the languages of the countries they reside in, the use of Paramon is common, a blend of the local language with elements of Romani, allowing them to preserve their linguistic identity even amid cultural assimilation. The lack of official records on the Roma population has historical and social roots. Fearing persecution and discrimination, many Roma avoid declaring their ethnicity in censuses, making it impossible to determine their exact numbers. Additionally, marriages with non-Roma result in descendants who may not identify with the group. Nevertheless, it is estimated that between 10 and 14 million Roma live in Europe, reflecting their historical and ongoing presence on the continent. Outside of Europe, the Roma population is also substantial, especially in the Middle East and South America. However, the absence of official data complicates any precise count. The reluctance to identify as Roma due to fear or cultural assimilation contributes to the uncertainty about their global distribution. Still, their cultural impact remains undeniable and continues to influence the regions where they have settled, despite their differences. Roma identity is not homogeneous, but is composed of diverse subgroups, each with its own cultural, dialectical, and territorial particularities. The way they identify themselves varies based on their history and geographic location. Moreover, self-identification plays a crucial role, and many subgroups adopt multiple names to refer to themselves, reflecting the internal diversity of the Romani people. Many Roma have been given names by other peoples, not always accurately. While the term Rom is often used to refer to the group as a whole, not all Roma embrace it. Some subgroups prefer their own terminology, further highlighting the complexity of their identity. This linguistic and cultural diversity causes confusion and contributes to the multiplicity of designations throughout history. Despite differences among subgroups, all share a common origin and draw a clear distinction between themselves and non-Roma, whom they call Gajo. This term is used to separate them from the Romani people, and this contrast is not based solely on ethnicity, but also on customs, beliefs, and ways of life, underscoring the strong collective consciousness among the Roma. In German-speaking countries, the Sintis refer to themselves by this name, but still use the term Romani for their language. This detail emphasizes the importance of language in shaping the identity and sense of belonging of the Roma people. Another example of this terminological variation is found in the words Kale and Kali, used by certain Romani groups. These words derive from Kala, meaning black or dark, in several Indian languages, including Sanskrit. The connection to the Indian Dom caste highlights the shared ancestry and Indian influence on the formation of different Roma subgroups. The appearance of the Roma also varies by group. Contrary to popular belief, there is no single phenotype that defines them. Their physical features range widely, with skin tones from very dark to light. Some Roma have dark skin and green eyes, while others have fair skin and blue eyes. Some even have blonde hair, reflecting the complexity of their ethnic origins and the numerous contacts they have had over the centuries. This diversity can be explained by the Roma's mixed origins, which stem from the merging of different ethnic groups in India. They descend both from the Aryans, who inhabited the northern subcontinent and had lighter skin, and the Dravidians, who lived in the south and had darker skin. The fusion of these populations created a people with varied physical traits, which have persisted even after their migration to other parts of the world. Genetic studies confirm this Indian origin, though there are still gaps regarding the details of their early migrations. The greatest challenge lies in the lack of written records, as Roma history has been passed down primarily through oral traditions. Thus, reconstructing the exact path of their journey from India to Europe remains a challenge. These challenges are what we aim to decipher as we explore their story. The history of the Roma is filled with episodes that explain their origins and traditions, and one of the oldest tales traces back to the reign of Bahram Thaif in Persia between 421 and 439 AD. The king noticed that music was a privilege of the elites and sought to bring this entertainment to the poorer classes as well. To achieve this, he sent a request to the King of India for musicians who could travel across the realm and perform for the people for free. In response, the Indian king sent 10,000 Luri musicians known for their mastery of the oud. To support them, Bahram provided each musician with an ox, a donkey, and a supply of wheat, hoping that they would be free of financial worries and able to focus on their music. However, after a year, the Luris returned hungry, having consumed all the resources without managing to settle. Furious at the waste, Bahram ordered that they leave and wander the world, thus beginning a journey without a fixed destination. This episode is often associated with the origin of the Roma and their language, Romani. Linguistic studies show that Romani has roots in Sanskrit and shares much of its vocabulary with Indian languages. It also bears structural similarities with Domari, the language of another nomadic group, including the use of postposition and gender neutralization in the plural, reinforcing the connection between these peoples. Roma culture is deeply rooted in traditions that have spanned centuries, preserving customs and beliefs that continue to influence their identity today. Genetic discoveries made in 2012 confirmed that the Roma trace their origins to northwestern India, which helps explain many of their practices and values. Roma women, for example, maintain a distinctive visual style, with long hair, colorful clothing, and frequent use of jewelry such as rings, bracelets, and necklaces, the characteristic sound of which is integral to their cultural identity. The social behavior of the Roma is regulated by a system of rules known as marime, which determines what is considered pure or impure. These rules are strictly followed, especially by older generations, and apply to both objects and people. The lower part of the body is considered impure, as are the clothes that cover it. As such, clothing worn on this part of the body, as well as clothing worn by menstruating women, must be washed separately to avoid any contamination. Events like birth and death are viewed as impure within Roma culture. Birth must occur outside the home, and the mother is considered impure for 40 days following childbirth. Death impacts the entire family, making them impure for a set period. Unlike other Hindu cultures that practice cremation, the Roma bury their dead, a tradition documented in the Rig Veda and still preserved by some communities in southern India. Roma spirituality is as diverse as their culture, varying depending on the country in which they reside. Without a religion of their own, they tend to adopt the predominant faith of the region, which explains the significant presence of Christian and Muslim Roma around the world. Over the course of history, many Roma converted to Christianity, especially in areas where this religion is dominant. However, their spiritual practices continue to be influenced by local traditions, resulting in an adaptable religiosity that remains deeply rooted. In addition to these external influences, the Roma preserve mystical elements from India. One such practice is the pessary, a divination method used since the times of ancient Indian kings. They also maintain traditions of spirit invocation and curses, practices that reflect their connection to Indian folklore and reinforce the aura of mystery surrounding them. If you enjoyed this content and want to continue exploring the hidden mysteries and stories of the Bible, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us bring you more videos like this and reach more people interested in the Bible. Turn on notifications so you don't miss out on upcoming content, and share this video with friends who might like it. See you next time.